Okay, Shalom, coming to you in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And salutations unto the Akim that continue to push the word in truth and in sincerity. And just want to get into this real quick. What verse was I in? Salakia, bear with me. So we're in Luke, the 8th chapter. Okay, and the title of this one is The Law of Faith, man. The Law of Faith. Okay. Because you've got Israelites out there, I'm not calling names or whatever, but you've got Israelites out there who, believe that by the law alone they're justified, and by the keeping of the law they can be saved. But it's impossible to keep, the law perfectly in these bodies, man. And we're not justified and we're not saved by the keeping of the law. Okay, we're justified and saved in Yahushai, or by Yahushai, I should say, through faith in the Lord. Okay, hence why the scripture says, Yahushai himself said, you believe because you see. But blessed are they who have not seen yet do believe. This is the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 44. And it says here, let me start from verse 43, and it says, and a woman having an issue of blood 12 years. And the law speaks of that. So that would be a continual menstrual issue, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any. Verse 44, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood stanched. It means it stopped. Okay, so she touched the border, which is the bottom half, towards the rear, the bottom of the Lord's garment, man. We know according to the law, our garments were to have what? The border of blue, and fringes. So she would, might have pulled on the fringe or just above the fringe, the border of his garment, man. And Yahushua said, who touched me? Alright? And Yahushua, you gotta, as Apostle Gabar says, you gotta, be a visionary. You gotta make the scriptures play out in your head, man. Because it says it, and Yahushua said, who touched me? When all the night, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? Because Yahushua was getting fame. Alright? He was known for, teaching the word in a way that was never taught before, making it make sense, bringing it to life. He was doing miracles, he was healing people, so on and so forth. So Yahushua, the scriptures speak about his fame, Salakia, his fame went abroad, so people in the different towns and cities and so forth, and neighboring communities knew of the Lord and came from far to see him. So the crowd was pressing on him, everybody trying to get close to the Lord, man. So of course people were touching him, because Yahushua, if you let it play out in your head, man, Yahushua was probably being, the disciples were there, trying to keep the people away from the Lord and allow the Lord to walk through, but the crowd was pressing on him. Yahushua was probably being jostled up and down about, can't walk a straight line because the people are, pushing up on him, man. So of course Yahushua's body was being touched by the people. Okay, but there's a difference in I'm touching you because you're famous, or you're the in guy right now, versus I'm touching you through faith because I know that if I can touch you, I'm gonna be healed, man. And that's kind of giving me the chills thinking about it, because this woman had great faith, man. And the scripture, and this is why, people think we hate women. We don't hate women. We love women, man. Alright? Ain't no batty boy flex around here. It's a lucky, man. It's having a little bit of fun, but man, we love women, man. Okay? And the scriptures do speak of the elect lady, and the scriptures do speak of women of faith, man. That will be saved. The majority of the 1/3 is gonna be who? Women. Okay? So ain't nobody saying women ain't making it or we hate women, man. Alright? It's just the majority of women out here ain't gonna make it. They're not right. Okay? But there's a difference between saying one thing, being that, and then saying some madness like we hate women. We don't hate women, man. Okay? Anyways, when it says in verse 45, it said, when all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee. So when Yahushua said, who touched me, he wasn't saying it in a playful manner of, he touching me for, man. He touching me. Yahushua probably would have been walking and he would have stopped and looked around, probably had a very austere look on his face or curious look on his face. Who touched me? And that made the people scared, like, oh shit, man. Maybe we're touching him, maybe we're too close. Maybe he wants his personal space. They would have got scared because it says when all denied, man. Because if anybody said, oh, it was me, Yahushua might, they were probably thinking, this man does miracles. He's got power. He could just kill me, or he could, curse me, or he could shout at me. I don't want to get embarrassed by the Lord, or I don't want to get shouted at, because they feared the Lord, man. So imagine when Yahushua said, who touched me? He was very serious about that. All right? Not because people were pressing up on him, because he felt something, man. And it said, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and sayest thou who touched me? So the disciples were saying, like, what do you mean who touched you? Like, you've got a crowd of people trying to get to you. What do you mean who touched you? Of course you're going to get touched. Like, what do you mean? And Yahushua said, somebody have touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. Alright? So Yahushua felt that power leave his body, man. Yahushua had spiritual power, man, which was given to him by his Father, man. Alright? All the miracles he did, it was because of the power his Father had given him. He was able to do these things. But this is spiritual power, man. So usually Yahushua would converse with a person, and then off the back he would say, your faith has made you whole, or go thy way and sin no more, But without him actually stipulating or the release of that virtue, the release of that power, instead this time he felt the power leave him, and he was like, hold on a second, what? Who touched me? And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling down before him. Yeah, because Yahushua was very, in that moment, he was very serious, man. And declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. Okay? And she was probably expecting to get, to get punished. Alright? Or she was expecting to be told she's a sinner because of that. Now, when you read the law, that very act of touching a man or touching anything, when you're in a state of uncleanness, alright, I believe the Hebrew word for it is nidah, which means upon a menstrual cycle for a woman, she's unclean and she can't touch anything that is clean, or anyone that she does touch, they become unclean. And this is why Yahushua is he is the embodiment of the law, but he's above the law. Hence why in the Mount of when they had the transfiguration, who appeared unto him? Moses. Who appeared next to him on his right and on his left? Elijah and Moses. Elijah to represent the seal of the prophets, and Moses to represent the law, and the Lord in the middle, meaning that what? Above the prophets, Yahushua is the top man, and above the law, the embodiment, yet above the law is Yahushua. Okay, the law is not over Yahushua, and neither is the prophets above Yahushua. Okay? Because according to the law, Yahushua in that moment being touched by that woman, he became unclean. Technically. Now, was the Lord unclean? No. But according to the word of the law, Yahushua would have become unclean. In fact, let me get it. I believe it's in fact, I'll get it on this. This is Leviticus. I believe it's the 15th chapter. Where is it? Leviticus chapter 15. It speaks of uncleanness and cleanliness and washings and so on and so forth. Let's go down. Talks about washing after sex and uncleanness and running issues and, the ejaculation of seed and, a woman on her period. Here we go. This is Leviticus 15. I'll just start from 18. The woman also whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening. And when you get into you go into the root words of these, is really talking about flowing water. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, this is what for her period, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever shall touch her shall be unclean until the even. So she had a continual issue of her insides weren't working properly, so that her period kept going on and on for the period of 12 years. All right, and even that happens to some people to this day. They have irregular periods. Some women, they have irregular menstrual cycles. It may go on for longer than it should. It comes back a day or two later, and it's just a big problem, man. But it says what? Whoever touches her shall be unclean until evening. Alright, so they would have to wash their clothes, go and sacrifice, and then be unclean and be clean again at the even. Wash their clothes, wash their body, and unclean until the next evening, man. Alright, so according to the letter of the law, Yahushua was made unclean by this woman. Okay, but this is why, as we're gonna get, the scriptures speak about the law of faith, man. Alright, we don't go by the law itself. Alright, now we do go by the law, but not the law by itself, because at some point we're gonna fail, and therefore we can't be justified. Alright, and Yahushua, back in Luke 8 verse 46, and Yahushua says, somebody have touched me, for I perceive that virtue has gone out from me. And when the woman saw that I read that verse already. Let me go to verse 48, and it said, and he said unto her, daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith has made thee whole, go in peace. Because by the letter of the law, she should be ridiculed. By the letter of the law, she's gone off, right? Because she's touched a man that is clean. I'm talking about ritually, bodily wise clean, while she's been on her menstrual cycle. So according to that, she's going against, it would perceive that she's going against the law. But whilst in the flesh, upon the tablets of stone, it would seem she's going against the law. By the law being written in our hearts, she's actually going to the law, which is the embodiment of the law, touching that which is the man Yahushua HaMashiach. And it says, thy faith, here's the key word, have made thee whole. Okay? And she would have known the law. Yeah, I'm a woman. That's, if any law a woman knows, it's certainly these laws, man. I'm on my period now. I got to depart from my husband's house. I can't touch anything holy. Anything I do later on is going to be unclean for 7 days. I have to wait 7 days. On the 8th day, I have to take a bath, fully immerse myself, clean myself, then go and present and sacrifice before the Lord, so on and so forth, man. So she would have known full well that she has no right, according to the law, touching anyone, especially Yahushua. Okay? But her faith, she executed the law of faith, which is what we're going to get. Okay? One more example is the book of Matthew 12. I'll start at 1. At that time, Yahushua went on the Sabbath day through the corn, And his disciples were an hungered, and began to pluck the ears of corn and eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, our disciples do that which is not lawful upon the Sabbath day. And he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was an hungered, and they were with him, and how he entered into the house of the Most High, and did eat the shewbread, which is not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests? Or have you not read in the law how on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, ye would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is even Lord of the Sabbath. Because, and it says, and pretty much meaning that you can keep the law, man, but with the law comes common sense, man. Of course we keep the Sabbath, of course we keep the laws, man. But some people, they would die, or they would go through some sort of unnecessary discomfort in the name of keeping the law. Like, use your common sense. The Lord gave you common sense for a reason. It should be innate within inside of you, man. But some people are so caught up on the law, they make the law look stupid, man. Okay, case in point, let's use a modern day example. Like, lighting fires and gathering sticks is against the law on the Sabbath day. Kindling a fire. So let's say it's the middle of winter, and you don't want to put the heating on because it's like lighting a fire, it's ignition. So you're gonna sit in the house cold because it's the Sabbath day. Come on, man, use your common sense, man. Okay. I'm gonna jump down to verse 11. And he said to them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will it hold in it and lift it out, because that's considered work? How much more is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore is it lawful to do well on the Sabbath days? So there may be certain things that it would seem wrong, but if it's good, then you do it, man. You would do it. Okay, and are you breaking the law in that? Hell no. Now if you're doing it if you're just doing any old thing because you want to and there's no good reason behind it, then that's just cantankerous and rebellious, man, which is as the sin of witchcraft. Okay, the scripture says. Alright. And the scriptures also go on to say that the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath, man. So you're not a slave to the law, man. And that's what some people have made it. The law was made for us to make us free. By being bound to some laws, statutes and commandments, that is total freedom. That is total liberation in righteousness. But some people, with their lack of understanding, have made themselves slaves unto the law, man. Alright? And Yahushua is pretty much breaking it down that you can't be a slave to the law. Okay? You keep the law, alright? But what did Paul say, man? All things may be lawful but not expedient, man. Sometimes it's not convenient at that time, man. But that's where spiritual discernment comes into the picture, man. But the point I'm pushing is that above the law, is what? The law of faith, man. That's the main law we're under right now. This is, what book is this? Romans chapter 3. What was it? Verse 31 I wanted. Let me start from verse 27. Where is boasting then? It is excluded. By what law? Of works? Nay, but by the law of faith. This is the most important law, the law of faith, man. Alright? Some people pride themselves in the law of the Sabbath. We keep the Sabbath, so okay. Alright, is the law of keeping the Sabbath gonna beam you up in a chariot? Or we keep the dietary law. Good. But is the dietary law gonna beam you up in a chariot? Okay. Is the dietary law and the Sabbath law and all the other laws we can keep, Is that what's going to keep you in the hour of trouble, in the hour of temptation? Because I kept the Sabbath, I'm not going to take the chip? Nah, man. It's the law of faith, man. Let me read that verse again. Where is boasting then? It is excluded. By what law? Of works? Nay, but by the law of faith. Therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. So we're justified by faith, man. Okay? You know? I'm going to go to verse 31 where it says, do we then make void the law through faith? Most High forbid. Yeah, we established the law, meaning that just because we're justified by the law of faith, do we then say, to hell with the law and throw it out the window? No, we established the law. The laws we can keep, we keep to the best of our ability. But in the front of our minds, whilst keeping those laws, we understand, even though I'm doing this, I'm not saved by this. Or I'm not justified by this. I'm justified by the law of faith. As that woman was not healed by establishing the law. By establishing the law itself, she would have kept away from Yahushua. She wouldn't have dared touch the Lord by the law by the word of the law, according to Leviticus the 15th chapter. But by the law of faith, okay, she was healed, man. You know? So your breakthrough, my breakthrough, our deliverance, our healing, our salvation comes through the law of faith, man. Not the letter of the law, man. Okay? You know? So I just wanted to bring that out, man. The most important law is the law of faith. Okay? The most important law is the law of faith. Okay? In verse 23 it says, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High. And what is sin? The transgression of the law. So all have sinned. So therefore by the law we're condemned. Yeah? So you can't make it through the law, because we've all come short of the glory. Okay? So we make it through faith in Yahushua HaMashiach. And to reiterate once again, this is not to say we don't keep the law. The scriptures clearly said it. Yeah, we established the law. Alright? But we understand by establishing the law, that's not what makes us righteous or pure or to be delivered. It's the law of faith through Yahushua. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.